What is up everybody, this is Aniket from Codeit. In this video we're going to be creating this social media icons hover effect using pure HTML and CSS. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into it. Before starting the actual project, let's dive into the files and let's see what we have right now. So we have an HTML file that is completely empty. We also have a CSS file where we do have some codes, and these are some custom properties that is going to help me with the colors. And this is CSS variables. And if you do not know how to work with CSS variables, I've created a dedicated video on CSS variables, the link of which would be in the description box and in these cards as well. Now let's start, but wait 1 minute, there's one more thing that we have to focus, that is the icons. So we are going to use the icon from a third party called Font Awesome, and to do so we'll have to add the CDN link of Font Awesome in our project. And if you are on CodePen, go to the settings button. In this CSS tab at this bottom we have a search bar, search for Font Awesome, grab on this and the CDN link would be added. If you are not on CodePen and if you want to use Font Awesome, then you can go to our website called cdnjs.com. The link would be in the description, cdnjs.com, and then go there and then search for Font Awesome and then add it in your HTML file. Now let's start some actual code. We'll create a UL and give it a class of list here. Create li 4 times because we want to create 4 li's. Give a class of item to each. Inside every li we'll create anchor tags and we'll give link class to each. Now in every href I want to give hashtags like this. And now we want to use the icons, and for icons we'll go to the official website of Font Awesome, and this would also be linked in the description. So come here, search for the different icons that you want to use. Here I have searched for Facebook because I want to use Facebook. Paste it at the top. I now want Twitter, so I'll search for Twitter and here I get a bird. I'll copy this bird from here, paste it here. The third one would be YouTube, and here we go. We'll copy this one and then we'll paste it here. And after this the last was GitHub, so I'll search for GitHub and I'll click on this cat and copy this code, paste it here like this. So we have our icons here. Now we have to move on to our CSS, and before writing any CSS stylings, the very first thing that everyone must do is add some basic stylings to universal operator and to pseudo elements. Give padding 0, margin 0, box sizing border box. Now move to body, give a height of 100 VH, width of 100%. Now I would like to give display of flex, justify, content center, and align item center. So these 3 lines are from Flexbox, and if you do not know what Flexbox is, so you can comment down below and I'll create a dedicated video on Flexbox. But for now, just understand that these 3 lines are centering everything in the middle of the page. Now after this body, and one more thing, I want to give a background to this body. So the background would be BG color, and here we have our BG color, that is complete black. Now I'll grab list, give it a display of flex so that it will align every element, every item in a horizontal direction. And now we can see some of the this bullet points. So to remove these bullet points, we'll say list style none like this. Now I also want to add some space between these icons, so for that I'll grab an item and say margin. From top and bottom I want 0, and from left and right I want 1 em. I'll also increase the font size and change it to 1.5 rem. I'll now give height of 3 rem, width of 3 rem, and I'll now use border 1 pixel solid, and that is the foreground color, and this is the greenish color mentioned at the top here. Now I want to I want to center this icon in this box, so I'll add a display of flex, justify, content center, and align items center to this as well. So these 3 lines centers every direct child element to the item you are adding the style on. I added the stylings on this box, so it took the direct child element of this box and centered it in the middle. Now I also want to make it a circle, and for that I'll add border radius 50%. And I also want to increase this height and width because it is a bit less. This works. Now I'll grab on my link and add the color same as the border, that is foreground color, like this. Now I want to add the actual hover effect, and for that I'll create a before pseudo element to this item. I'll add content of blank, position absolute, and since I'm giving it a position of absolute to the parent element, I'll give a position, and in this case it would be relative, like this. Now I want to give it a left of 0, bottom 0, width of 100%, and a height of 100%. And now if I give it a background of, let's say, foreground color, here we go. So this is our before element, but I want to this item I want to add overflow of hidden so that nothing flows out of this item. And here we go, we have this completely filled circle with green color. And now I would like to add this height again back to 0 so that we can see this icon here. Now I'll give a transition to this height property where the duration of 500 milliseconds is in out. Now if I say dot item hover, the before element should get a height of 100%. So now we are changing height from 0 to 100%. So this should be something like this. Here we go. And one more thing, I want to add cursor pointer to this item. Cursor pointer, like this. Now this shall work good. Okay, here we go. But now we want to rotate this icon and change the color of this icon as well. So to this link as well, I'll add a transition, and the transition would be for color. The duration would be 500 milliseconds, is in out. Now if I say dot item hover dot link should get down. I want to go down. The link should get a color of BG color. That means the background color. Now here, okay, so that works, but still we cannot see this icon because the icon is behind this before element. So for that, what we'll do to this before, I'll add z index to 1, and the link would get a z index of 2. Now that should perform our job. Let's see. Here we go. So we have this. Now I want to rotate this. So for rotation to this link, I'll come to this link and give transition to this rotation as well. So I'll say transform because we want to add transform rotate. So transform 500 milliseconds, is in out. And to link here, I'll say transform rotate 360 degrees, and this will rotate it completely once, like this. We have it like this, everything. Now we want to add the actual content, and that is the hover effect on the whole item. And so to item, I'll add transition, and the very first one is I want to scale it up. For that, I'll say transform 250 milliseconds, is in out. Now if I say to this item, if I add item hover, then I'll say transform scale 1.2, like this. And okay, so this works till now, but the main thing now, I like to add box shadow here. But why am I adding box shadow here? So you'll know that in just a minute. I'll say 250 milliseconds, is in out, and that would take a delay of 500 milliseconds. And this delay is just because I want to add that animation after this rotation and after this filling up has been completed, and that takes 500 milliseconds. So I'm adding this after 500 milliseconds. This is the delay 500 milliseconds. Now I've given that box shadow. Now to item hover, I'll add box shadow. Box shadow 0 pixel. This is the x and y values, 0 pixels. Blur also I want 0 pixel, but to spread I want 10 pixels, and the color would be background color. Now I want to add one more layer of box shadow, and that too will contain the x and y of 0, blur 0. Now the spread would be 20 pixels, and here it is foreground color. Now if I show you, boom, this is what we had to create. So we have created this, and this what you are seeing here is the black and then green. It is from the box shadow. The first layer has a 10 pixel of radius, and that has a color of same as that of background, so that merges. And that green is because I've given a radius of 20 pixel with the color of the same of this one. So one more thing that I want to do is increase the spacing between the items, so I'll add 1.5 that increase the spacing between these items. And now I think we are done with the project. And yes, it was fun to create this project, and if it was a fun for you guys as well, then like the video, subscribe to our channel, and press the bell icon to get the instant notification of our latest videos. Thank you for watching.